The sizzling sausage, studs on cement, sport in the crisp wintry air. When the drawbridge goes up, see the absolute state of it. You're with Pez and Higgos, it's the circus.
And in the blink of an eye, footy is back, soap operas are back, and weekly scheduling is back. Just how many agendas will be set? Just how many glasses of narrative will we drink each week? Who are the good guys and who should we throw off a bridge? Get yourself in a leadership WhatsApp group. Throw on a hoodie. Ease into a rat's coffin because this is your season. Even if your team isn't any good, even if it's a season to rebuild, even if you're not in a premiership window, you'll always have the prospect of green shoots. You never know when the best Saturday of the season is on your doorstep. You'll always be keen to know what was on the menu midweek, who's being whispered and what's being whispered in the corridors of power, who's filthy and who's a disgrace, who's lucky to get off and who was stiff. We've got you covered on the circus because even though none of this matters, don't let that stop you from your emotions being dictated by a squad of blokes that don't even know you exist. Scream the loudest at a bloke with a whistle and they just might. This is autumn. This is the circus. My name is Ian Higgins. Sam Perry, how the bloody hell are you?
Mate, I'm ready. Ready is what I am. I'm ready to run the rule over things this season. I'm ready to declare things a watch. I'm ready to apply the blowtorch, if you will. I'm ready to tackle not just questions, but burning questions.
Okay.
Questions that must be set alight.
You're right, okay.
Such as the fervour and fever
Yep.
and heat.
We're all pyros,
therein.
Francis.
But as always, the circus, and what a pleasure it is to have this show here, which we begun for two reasons. One was to diversify from a growing need on Indian foreign currency, and two, don't worry about that bit, but two...
Yeah, and we'll speak about Andrew Dillon in a second.
Two, it's because it's what we talk about in this office. And as you know, the only way to enjoy things in life is to turn them into content, and somewhat professionalise it. And I, with emphasis on the word somewhat.
Yeah. Well, I would say to that, don't love your job you love.
Yeah, that's it. Now, the circus is always been run by the fans, right? And it's at this moment in time. And if you are new to it, the best way you can interact with this show is by correcting our mistakes. It's a segment that we will once again run at the end of the show. It's called Boys Actually. If you hear anything that's wrong and you want to just go to town on it, as is your right, and as is culture, boysactually@gmail.com. It's a show for the fans, and that's why we will start now with what is getting people hot.
Good.
There's only a couple to begin with.
Well, it's
but
Feb.
Yeah, exactly. It's transition season, changeover season.
Oh, okay.
Well, depends.
Depends what you
and
say.
quickly, just Chucky, how are you as well? Let's hear from you.
Yes, very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
You got
Whoa, okay. Settle down there.
okay, mate.
Yeah.
Easy, boy.
Sorry. I'm really excited.
I can hear it. Let's hear from the punters, Chuck. Okay.
Fuck the AFL. I'm pretty keen to see how Chuck's Dockers go this year.
Chuck's Dockers.
Come on, Chuck. Get out of your cage. What's getting me hot is you coats aren't appreciating the greatness of Amy Community Round.
Yeah.
Fuck me, guys. It's AFL pre-season. Get a grip.
Get a grip.
Boys, did we not win this T20 thing because there's not enough A-graders? Yeah, who'd have thought?
What's this new email received from Sam Perry and Ian Higgins? Hi there, loyal pay pig. If you already have a will drawn up, did you know it's easy to make changes so your legacy can include the Circus Pod /TGC?
Come to Vegas to see all your favorite NRL stars like Jermaine McEwen, Thomas Kent, Kai O'Donnell, Pasami Saulo. Oh, I've never heard of those people. And they'll all be signing autographs.
A lot of pundits will say don't read too much into trials. But did they see Hamasi Makasini steamroll 4 Panthers players and score what Jonah Loman will be looking down from the clouds and saying, that's my son? Tigers going all the way in 2026.
Boys, it was about this time last year that the old miso soup left and I was thrown into a cycle of self-abuse and vigorous tugging. So I guess I'm getting hot for the return to the cuckery of sending in little voice notes of my emotional torment for you two to laugh at.
Just a little fade out.
Faded him out. That's enough, mate. So
Okay.
that's the temperature.
A little taste.
Yeah.
A little taste.
Someone telling us to get a grip because it's Amy Community Cup or whatever the fuck it is pre-season.
Get a grip.
Get a grip, guys. I haven't even done an episode. Get a grip.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. We'll start with the AFL.
Of course.
And it's a story that's been I suppose about a month old now. But Andrew Dillon going to India to grow the game has certainly caught my eye because we're all in code wars at all times. Many people who don't watch the AFL, for instance, will be skipping this part and say, talk about the footy, talk about my team. Others, when they get to the rugby league section, they'll be saying, talk about the footy. It's all footy, just depending on where you domicile. But what we can agree on is that your team and your league needs to expand, and so we can all be proud of something, that being where we're from, home. Now, if the thing you love the most is your sporting club, your franchise, your community, the thing that represents you as a person is all of a sudden playing overseas and people from overseas saying, fuck me, how good's Port Adelaide? Then you're like, that makes me proud. You know what I mean? If I'm from a North Queensland area and I'm a Cowboy, all of a sudden I'm in Vegas, you know what? That's fucking good.
Okay.
So I say, keep spreading those wings.
Exactly.
Keep spreading the wings.
I just wonder the reasons behind it, like what Dylan's shooting for here. It may just be that people are talking about cricket, and he's like, well, I better go over. But like, because we've seen Kohli in a Richmond kit, right?
Yeah.
Virat Kohli comes over here.
Yeah.
Where's the Richmond kit? So is it a case of Andrew Dillon going over there and Isaac Heaney going over there and putting on a Kolkata Knight Riders IPL kit?
Yep.
Like will the AFL players be fated by the BCCI?
Yeah.
For example, come and learn about our sports.
Yeah.
For example,
I mean, how many league players have you seen wearing like an Oakland Raiders hat, for instance?
Yes.
We've seen cricketers go to Manchester United games and meet Sir Alex Ferguson. Yes. Maybe get a touch of a scarf, perhaps. These crossovers are exciting. We see Marcus Rashford come to Melbourne, sit on a tram, for instance, holding a Sharon. Ronaldo on a tram. That's fucking beautiful.
So Andrew Dillon in like a tuk-tuk, going to Chinnaswamy. Right, and he's meeting Anil Kumble there, he's receiving a tour of the Chinnaswamy. Is that? It's actually an auto. It's got an auto.
That makes you feel good about home.
Yeah, that's right. And then they put Kumble in a Port Adelaide kit, and we think this is growing the game.
Well, I saw Koshi say that they've banned the word rebuild at the club this season. So
okay.
I'm not sure that's related to Kumble necessarily, but you just said Port Adelaide. I thought Koshi.
Interesting, because I know that we'll come to NRL Vegas and the year-on-year question about whether Trump will go or watch it on TV. But do we get will Trump turn it on at Mar-a-Lago? That's the question. But is that the same with AFL then? Is it like will Modi tune in to gather round?
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Yeah. See, we want world leaders to recognise the thing that we like as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, Indians will famously love a sport called Australian rules. No, given what's happening to cricket, for example, that the entire thrust of what they're doing is they're not your rules anymore. These are our rules.
But I think there can be crossover, for instance, because a lot of people, like, for instance, how many people would love to watch a sport where it's held at Shark Park?
Sorry, I didn't consider that. Especially when you said it to prevent flies coming in the side of your mouth. Couple of sherbets at Shark Park for Modi.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I like it.
Saying people like it. Now, State of Origin, was it a success, Pezza?
Oh, absolutely.
Eddie Maguire said he was going to give Nick Dacos his own medal after being snubbed for best on ground. I'm not sure Nick wants that necessarily, but that was some controversy.
Well, Nick got the best medal because he's included as the only pie in Sam McClure's A graders from last week.
Right, so there's only 31 A graders. Is that what it was? Only 31.
I don't know, man. I mean, I just love the idea that just an early to mid 30s guy lists who's good at footy.
and that being like
that's
the
it.
marker.
Just right. I've been a journalist for a while. I'm in my early to mid 30s. Here's who the good players are. That's it.
Yeah.
And each year, and then there's a 5-minute video afterwards where he sits down with the age and runs them through his thinking for 5 minutes about how he came up with the best players in footy. But let's go through them. Importantly, Lions have 4. Because I think this will be a bit of a, it's a bit of a signal of who's hot and who's not for footy this year. Who Sam McClure thinks is good at it.
It's good branding from McClure.
Absolutely. Branding. I might just, why is it, despite this mockery, that it's probably one of the highest read articles in the Age this year?
Yeah.
Just ratings. People just love being rated, right? I mean, that's how Facebook started with Zuckerberg. Just rating birds.
Who does McClure want to fuck? It's 31 blokes.
Lions had 4. Pies only 1. Dacos. Cats 3. Suns 3. GWS 3. Hawks 1. And Swans 4 with Chuck Curnow coming in.
Okay. Big year for the Swans.
Big year for the Swans. McClure then also has what he calls a watch list of about 10 players who might make the grade next year.
Okay.
So it's not all bad for Dacos, is what I'm saying after Origin, because he's a Sam McClure A grader.
Okay. Well, obviously the main story that's over the course of the off season was the the upsetting news of the Neils splitting up. But I have enjoyed recently a bit of good news on news.com.au that they have sold their house for $3.2 million, a tidy profit of $770K.
Tell me it says tidy profit.
It said tidy profit.
Okay.
Mate,
that's
Mate, Australia, we're obsessed with property and and being upwardly mobile.
Yeah.
And getting in the property market is the best way for a young person, a young family to do it.
Yeah.
Tidy profit, $770K, doesn't miss. So it's not all bad news.
I read the other day that if you actually have to work for money, that you've lost capitalism. So I think we're all pretty fucked. But that's sad with the Neils. That's
it is sad.
That's the marital home and whatever. But tidy profit doesn't miss. Couple Sherpas.
Yeah. Now speaking of profits, I've seen Kingy, David King. He's off the beers until North win 2 games in a row.
Oh, he's doing the hair stuff.
Yeah. So he said this with Kane on Fireball. 2 games in a row. He's going to be off the... This is basically like the hair guy for Man United. Got to win 5 games in a row. Now, their first 5 games, North, they got Port at home, West Coast away, Essendon at Marvel, then Carlton at Marvel. That's their first 5 games? So I just said 4. I've said 4 games there. So, I mean, is Kingy just off the beers all season? They haven't won 2 games in a row for 4 years, 5 years?
First thing I say about David King, and he is a mate, I'd never question his integrity. He's a man that's true to his word.
Bloody oath.
I would suggest that one of the differences with the hair guy is that you can see that he can't cut his hair, whereas Kingy can go into a cupboard and drink a beer if he wants.
Yeah.
As we all can.
He could get Schindler's.
And do.
Yeah.
It's interesting you mentioning leadership there and sacrifice, he goes, because we mentioned on the preview the other day that the AFL hosted its annual captain's call.
Yes, that's right.
It appeared to be either at AFL House or a shopping precinct. I couldn't figure it out, or either. Now, I did put the call out to those who might know a little bit more about it as to what happened at that captain's call, because you might recall last year it was a very important meeting where the captains sat at Lamaro's, just up the road, a famous haunt, and they did so in full kit, where they discussed illicit drugs. That's right. I think Andrew Dillon had plenary sessions. There was different rooms there, and he was going from table to table talking about bags. So, we've got a few. Let's just say, few fingers in pies, if you will. And we know the AFL also likes to Aussie Rules concerns itself with what people are eating as well. So,
most important thing.
I did have a source pretty close to the captain's call.
Okay.
I probably should have verified it or fact checked it, but I do have some information about the captain's call.
Okay.
And I'll just read it verbatim.
Yeah, good.
Lamaro's got the flick, unsure if that's a representation of a change in relationship between the AFL and Melbourne underworld. Graham Hotel was a nice alternative. Private dining area taking over the first floor.
Okay.
Schnitzel and potato salad and porterhouse and mash, popular choices. Roast duck bread with beetroot puree, less popular, but aesthetically pleasing on the plate.
Mm-hmm.
Soda water, the polar choice, maybe popular choice of beverage, but a few red wines sent at the table.
Oh.
Okay. Rules, a hot topic of conversation.
Bit of plonk.
Still feels weird wearing full kit and boots and tucking the napkin into the top of my Guernsey. I wonder what it's like wearing footy boots just around the Graham Hotel.
Hey, what about going to the bathroom? It's like just clicking away, just slipping and sliding all over the joint.
At one point, slip and slide. That's a Patreon show. At one point, I think NRL attendance was mentioned with a scoff from the room as the entree of burrata and grilled prawns was being sampled. No, I don't know. I can't reveal who sent that to us. But obviously, it's one of 16 guys in the AFL. So, just a little update as to what's on the agenda with the captains, which is rules and food and those kinds of things.
Speaking of agendas and indeed going back to North, I understand that North are open to the idea of lifting the ban on cane corns heading into the sheds this year. You might recall last year he was quite critical of Harry Sheezel, stat padding, I think it was, calling it sheezy ball. And North didn't like that, so they banned cane from the sheds post-game, but I believe they're open to allowing cane back in. So, all good signs so far. Now, you might have seen today, Pezza, the umpires are going to be given statistics before casting Brownlow votes because people were fucking filthy last year over a couple of three-pointers that didn't go the right way.
Yeah.
So now the umpires are going to be given stats after the game for more accurate and consistent reporting.
I just say people should tread carefully in this space because there's a lot of tumult in the world at the moment.
There really is.
And some things, we don't recognise the world around us, particularly post 9/11. But one thing that has always remained true, ever thus, is that umpires have no fucking idea what's going on. And that binds us. These are the ties that bind.
Yeah.
I welcome the umpires reflecting that in their insane Brownlow voting.
Totally.
But it is actually a community, it's something that brings community together.
Yeah.
So giving them stats, allowing them to actually have data to support what they think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's the path we want to go down,
Do
personally.
you know how fucking boring it is when blokes are just reading out 3-2-1s for the course of an entire season? And it needs a moment where it's like, Nazaya, 1, and people are like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck's
And people
going on here?
laugh. That brings energy to a room. Umpires need to be the sacrificial lambs in this community and this time of tumult. We need something to bind us all together.
Exactly.
Dumb cunt umpires.
Yeah. Just be careful. Be careful trying to kill the dumb cunt umpire. I did mention this in the preview, but I'm only trying to get all this news off early because agendas are being set at 7.
I see, good.
3 times a week now, right? So owing to its success, no doubt. Darcy Moore will join the panel from the Pies there.
Yeah.
And not an A-grader this year, by the way.
Okay,
but as a media performer, without doubt, and a wonderful leader, Darcy Moore. But they'll set that agenda 3 times a week on agenda setters. So you set it on Monday, you prosecute it, you reset it Wednesday.
That's right.
Re-prosecute, reset again Friday. Games take place. Did you note, and I don't mean to jump over the league straight away because I know there's more footy to get through, right? And down here we call it footy.
Yeah.
But the Seven Networks also announced that they've got a new weekly panel show, the Agenda Setters Rugby League.
Oh.
This year. Launching Monday, 9 March, live and free on 7 mate and hashtag 7plus sport because I've screenshot this off LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Now, it's building on the success of the Agenda Setters AFL. It'll deliver sharp analysis, breaking news and unfiltered debate on the biggest issues in the game. Now, it's going to be hosted by former Broncos Premiership captain Corey Parker and an all-star panel of Luke Keary, Aaron Woods and David Riccio. I see Matthew White here as well. So, and Jaleesa, I think. So, I mean, a little, building off the success of AFL's Agenda Setters and I suppose a competitor to NRL 360, which kicks off tomorrow. So it's kind of like, if you'd have to be a real sicko to take both of these in. But I will, we will.
Yeah,
by the way,
many of us are that unwell. Yeah,
but I just also wondered if we're going to come to league and broadcast deals and stuff. But is 7 kind of just signalling that they might want a little seat at the table with the V'landys broadcast deal? By launching Agenda Setters with Luke Keary and Corey Parker.
Well, I think typically speaking, the consumer, the punter, always wins out of broadcast deals. That's how it's always worked. Time immemorial.
When was the last time the rugby league was able to like the rugby league had establishment media shoulder programming from a channel that didn't hold the rights.
to
There
it,
were no
yeah.
AFL; it's everywhere.
Yeah.
But you'd have to go. I think Matty Johns might have had a show on Channel 7 15 years ago or something, and Shane Webke was on it. That's my memory. I think because there was a picture of it in the 7 offices.
I do not remember that at all.
Well, that's yeah.
which is again, that's obviously your problem. Yeah.
Anyway. So look, I don't mean to
No,
railroad from footy. But
no, well, I'll tell you what's caught my eye. You know, we're not really talking about the X's and O's here, nor will we on this show, as is our right and indeed obligation. But Sam Lawler is running the number 4 this year for the Tigers, and he's looking like Dusty, and he's looking jacked. And I got to say, I'm excited by that. Obviously, did the old was it the knee last year? Did it early on, Sam? After they beat Carlton in round 1. So I'm excited for that. I mean, but how do you feel about like a young? He's not a rookie anymore, but like a young guy taking on a legacy number at a club. He's taking over Dusty's number. He's looking similar. He's looking jacked. He's looking good. He's a hell of a player. He's a fine player.
He was a very promising player, Sam Layla or Lawler. We'll get a read on that down the track, but it's a burning question. I think the way that you speak about players entering their second season is whether they'll undergo a syndrome of it being second season. Whether they have a syndrome around that, or in the case of Sam and just young players, how mature his body is and whether he has a hard body, and whether his team are a team of hard bodies or mature bodies.
Okay.
That tends to be what flicks my switch when I think about young players, is how hard their bodies are.
I'll tell you what used to really get me going before I moved to this fine state of Victoria was guys that had high profile but were keen to get out of the Melbourne footy bubble.
Well, I'll come to that.
Because I always used to get really excited by the idea that someone wanted to leave Melbourne or Victoria to come to my state.
Yes.
You know? And they were often dwindling stars just trying to get cash.
Yeah. Just escaping the bubble.
Yeah, but it was like, no, this is going to be good for my career.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm just excited by Sam, looking like Dusty.
Yeah.
And Dusty's given you his blessing.
Oh, he blessed with the number on the back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's
all right. Yeah, that's a watch. I
Yeah.
call that a watch. I got a couple of things actually here from Fox Sports, the website there. Just a couple of things. The headline being big hint over major Pies shift. All eyes on Eagles as round 1 selection stunner looms. AFL blowtorch. It's called. And it's just a couple of points for each team, and I'm not even going to mention those ones. But obviously Charlie Curnow to Sydney from Carlton. Chuck.
Yeah.
And the question there is, will he enjoy the change of environment? That's certainly what Sean Burgoyne thinks.
Okay. I'd be keen if he changed his name to Sneed. Sneed Curnow.
And he's also through a match simulation against the Dogs at Whitten Oval last week. Formed a combination with Errol Goulden.
Yes, he did. Yes,
players wearing zinc. But
beautiful left foot, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, McClure's got Curnow, he's got Chuck and Goulden as A graders. So
I think, talking about Swans for 5 seconds, that every season's a big season for a head coach, but given the success of Horse for a long period of time at the Swans, and then didn't quite work out for Coxie last year, obviously missing the 8. I think this is a significant season. I think the Swans whisper it top 4.
Does Coxie need some PR? Does he need an animal nickname? Because we've come from Horse, and before that was Roosie. You know what I mean? I know it's not sort of a kangaroo, but
tell you what,
Coxie, he sort of deserves it. He deserves it.
He did himself no harm by the footage going around when he was fucking blind at the cricket.
Yeah, that's true.
The SCG test.
That's a good sign for the Swans for me.
Sign.
Just getting himself in and around
the
cricket, the
trust.
SCG, and the trust therein. Just staying in Sydney. Clary obviously gone to GWS now. In the match sim, he was clean around stoppage.
Why is that so funny?
Clary was clean around stoppage. Sadly, our friend of the show, Tom Green's done an ACL. It was a big miss. McClure had him as an A grader, by the way.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, just the year he becomes an A grader.
No, that's going to really hurt.
They've got a few injuries, GWS. So I couldn't name another one, but I just think Clary might enjoy a change of environment too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So many guys who are play for a non-Victorian side looking for a change of environment and go and play for the D's.
Jamara Ugle-Hagen, he's landed at the Suns. It'll be a good change of environment.
Yeah, I think
for him. He's a watch. He's changed management.
Has he?
But I'm not sure if they're applying the blowtorch in this. I don't know if that's applying the blowtorch, but just a couple of guys who are looking for a change of environment and they're a watch.
Sure.
Just a couple. Any other footy matters for you?
No, not for me.
Just quickly, shout out Mitch Cleary, just noting that Sam Mitchell uses AI, and he's just the way sort of Sam Mitchell goes about it, just kind of likes to carry an edge into things over his fellow coaches. Finally, Collingwood has offered a lot of people on a database, even beyond their members, the opportunity to give them part of their estate once they die.
That's right.
That's right. Basically, Collingwood going to people saying, "We want your money even if you're dead." And so take it when you're alive, and also when you're dead, can we have that too?
Cradle to grave.
Cradle to grave. Though I am kind of jealous of the calculation they've made. This is like, mate, people love this shit so much.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
well, we saw this with the Egyptians. We saw this with the pharaohs when they used to go in.
So?
Well, when they used to go into the pyramids, they used to take their worldly possessions with them, i.e., your footy club membership.
Yes.
Take it with them into the afterlife. Good to go.
Until there were tomb raiders like Lara Croft.
That's right. They were looking for MCC memberships. It's not easy to get in.
And that's about footy. That's the wrap of footy. This is start the year.
Just a reminder that you can watch every AFL Community Series match live and exclusive on Fox Footy, included on KO Sports. You can watch every match live with no ad breaks during play on KO Sports. Of course, we are excited for the Community Series. The Community Series this week.
Excited for KO getting around us as well.
Well, that is very
Circus.
true, Pezza. That is very true. Now, of course, Rugby League also in Vegas. Bit more good news if you're a KO fan and indeed a Rugby League fan or an AFL fan or just a sports fan or a circus fan or whatever you want. Because there's plenty of hype this weekend heading into Vegas. Atmosphere is going to be insane. PVL has already touched down in Vegas. Apparently a bit of a dodgy flight, bit of turbulence. He's already thrown a couple of strays at the AFL's way, saying they've used an AFL engineer on the flight or some shit. Complete drive-by unnecessarily. We've got Knights, Cowboys, Hull KR and Leeds Rhinos all are live and exclusive to Fox League. The only place to watch all three games of rugby league in Las Vegas live is Fox League, available on KO. And in 4K, no ad break stream play. Live play on KO. Rugby League, Pez, where do you want to start?
Okay, well, I want to start with PVL's pronouncements in the last couple of days. And you'll be surprised to hear this when he just gave a précis about where rugby league is at ahead of a broadcast deal. Presumably, KO will be at that table. But record revenue and profit, record viewership, record participation, broadcast deal imminent, a chance to gazump the AFL's broadcast deal last time, harmony inside and between clubs, no discernible atrocities, a Vegas junket to kick things off. Vlandis describes rugby league as Australia's and the Pacific's #1 sport.
Yeah.
And it's about time that became official, in my view.
Yeah.
Now, the big question in league really is which journo gets to go on the junket to Vegas. And I noted, as you just said there before, breaking news from Danny Weidler yesterday, the Vegas-bound flight with NRL bosses Peter Vlandis, Abdo and Knights fans and Knights CEO Peter Parr on board has been forced to return to Australia. Understood to be air conditioning issues, was over an hour in the air, and then they just took off again. Like they left at 3 and they took off at 6 again. So this is where we're at, where essentially there's breathless articles saying important man's plane delayed. That is the heights that Vlandis has ascended to right now.
Important man's flight delayed.
If you wouldn't mind, it's got a couple of items on the teams playing in Vegas.
Okay.
I don't know if you got your own as well, but just with the Dogs. The Bulldogs had a massive circuit the other night. They went to see the Eagles play at the Sphere.
Fuck, mate. I'd love to go to the Sphere.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about myself now.
Yep.
It looks fucking unbelievable.
The Dogs actually, they brought the club brought the whole front office staff as a reward for their hard work last year.
That's awesome.
Plenty happening at the Dogs, I'm telling you, under Serraldo and Gould. Right? It's a big Yeah, it's a big watch on them. They're a premiership contender. I mean, I've read that they're the only premiership contender going to Vegas at the moment. And that's not my view personally, but just saying that the Dogs have a little bit of vibe and dynamism about them.
Fuck, they were fun last year. There was so much fun around Belmore last year. Like when they went on the run, how many games they win in a row? Whatever it was a stack. And they were leading the comp for age. Like it was fun, you know. Like a historic club, successful club in the past.
Yeah.
Like a great lineage of wonderful players.
Strong Bulldogs, strong rugby league. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
not really.
Yeah.
No, not at all, Pezza.
Yeah.
Just said it was good. Saints. I got a question for you.
Okay.
It's Dog Saints, obviously.
Yeah.
Bulldog Saints at in Las Vegas.
Yes.
Now, if I was to ask you who their best off-season recruit was, who would you say? Obviously, it's Colin Matangi next year. But who would you say is their best off-season recruit?
Nathan Brown.
Nathan Brown, yeah. Not far off. Funny you say that, but wrong. Their best recruit is assistant coach Mick Ennis, according to the Sydney Morning Herald.
Strong hairline.
So says Damien Cook, who said, the way Mick Ennis explains things, he's really clear and his footy IQ is unbelievable.
Footy IQ is, I mean, in all sports clubs, you want rugby, you want footy men in your club. Mick Ennis is a footy man. You know what I mean?
I do. Now, I want to put it to you, right? I've said in the past, and I don't resile from this, that my kingdom to be called buckets for a day.
Yes, you have.
Now, I'm not necessarily offering up my kingdom to be somebody with footy IQ, but it's not far off either. Maybe some land.
Yeah.
Siphon off some land. But I just want to know how you'd feel to be described as somebody with footy IQ.
You know, that's like winning a Players Player Award, isn't it? Like that's a tip of the cap from your peers.
Like if you're at a pub with some mates and there's someone who's played a bit of footy in their time or whatever, and they just mention side mouth, of course, after a few sherbets.
Yeah.
Pez, he goes got decent footy IQ.
Yeah.
Decent footy IQ in front of your mates. I mean, you're 10 foot tall, aren't you? For a decade at least. You are dining out on that. For a long time.
If you're watching, let's say, State of Origin of a Wednesday evening, middle of winter, and you're able to hold court over a referee's decision because you're respected by your peers, that does hold a lot of weight. That's good.
A mate of mine was referred to in an Andrew Webster article over a decade ago for giving Tom Waterhouse shit at Leichhardt Oval, and he's dined out on that for a long time, and rightly so.
Yep.
Okay, I just wanted to look. Good news, he goes. In relation to the Cowboys. Matt Lodge.
Yes,
I think you had that
Lodgy,
here.
yes.
Matt Lodge has been allowed to return to the US a decade after his rampage. Just for background, this is where he spent time in New York's Rikers Island prison after a violent home invasion, leaving a family traumatized. He also threatened a German tourist on the street in the early hours of the morning, telling her, "This is the night you're going to die." Now, long time ago, he was 18, and he's a better person now. He's with the Cowboys. It's his 6th club, Lodgy.
Right.
And I like this quote from Reed Marnie. Big Lodgy. He's been great for the group. Strange cat, but we all love him.
I know he said of that incident that it's followed him everywhere, and he was 18 with a fake ID. I think he was on prescription meds from memory, and he had like some sort of psychosis, and he completely flipped out.
Yep.
All made mistakes, fake ID, 18, but like, mate, imagine how fucking scary it would have been. Okay. Obviously for the people that he affected, but also like ending up in Rikers as an 18-year-old Australian. Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put that in the bit going on category. But, people can improve.
I got to say, I feel like he's pretty lucky to get back into the States, being a non-US national and having a criminal record charge.
Just knowing what you know about just ins and outs of the US. Ins and outs. Is he an in?
Yeah.
Now, Lodgy's been talking to the press, obviously, and addressing this. And a little sub-story within this is, I think he's called out Nelson Asafa-Solomona for a fight, and he says he knows where he can come get it. And I think he means George Rose, a promoter. But
right.
He also said, unlike Nelson, I'm not going to quit footy to get in the ring. Now, Nelson Asafa-Solomona's seen this, the big man, and he's sort of screenshot the article and then written his own little piece over the top on Instagram in a story.
That's how you do it.
To be clear.
Yep.
And he wrote, "Funny that you wouldn't have a job if I took the contract you're currently on right now. Thank me later, Matt Lodge." So, the gauntlet's been thrown.
I tell you what, a gauntlet preseason.
Throw down.
We get stories of Lodge in New York, so that makes us feel close to America as well, which we all aspire to. The land of hope, and also a fight beforehand. Like it's all meshing into like what promises to be an exciting season of rugby league.
Exactly, but it's atrocity free at the moment. It's been suggested that players are all on their best behaviour at the moment because of this broadcast deal.
I would say there's a certain Parramatta rookie that's found himself in some hot water. I mean, he's actually smoking a joint in a bath, but yeah.
Yeah, well, but with these stories, it's just a substance. You don't know what it is. You just don't know what it is.
I'm looking
smoking the peace pipe.
I'm looking at a guy having a joint in a bath, and I'm thinking, oh, good. We listen to jazz.
Exactly. Just a little grab bag if other leg matters, if you wouldn't mind.
Bag.
New interchange rules.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it probably helps guys with head injuries or some shit. Dylan Brown's going to start 7 for the Knights. That's all going ahead.
Yep.
DCE in the tricolours.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt seeing him play for a different club, but it'll hurt more if the Roosters start playing well.
Yeah,
Manly
and Roosters for me. I know obviously different clubs, but like the transition isn't that jarring to me. It's just got a similar place.
Manly to the eastern suburbs. Yeah.
Well, just what it is, what it represents. He strangely looks quite suited to a Roosters Guernsey to me.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry to Manly fans.
Yeah.
But para fullback Isaiah Yongi has been smoking a substance. He's been seen smoking a substance in a picture.
No one actually knows when it was. Who took the photo?
Well, Supreme Court Judge Jeff Bellew will investigate, and Bellew was the first chair of the Northern Eagles venture for a couple of years, and that went well. So the other thing about Para, good news, though, because it's a good news show.
It is a good news show.
They have lost Dylan Brown, but replaced by Jonah Pezzett. Now, guess who else is there at Para this year? You'll never will. Goal-kicking consultant Matt Burke.
Oh, I was going to say Eric Growth Jr.
No, they don't let him in. But Matt Burke.
Okay.
So Matt Burke. So they've lost Zach Lomax. It seems.
Yes. Via the Supreme Court.
Yeah, and the NRL's been dragged in. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Let's just say the Storm always get their man.
Get him on the show when he's down here.
Exactly. We're going to hear from Storm legend shortly. But Matt Burke in Eels kit working with Mitch Moses, and he said Mitch hits them well.
I used to fucking love Matt Burke.
Oh, dude, it's every young northern suburbs private school boy's dream, because he had a babyish face and the hair just so, and everything that he did was clean.
Yeah, and the yellow of a Parramatta, the gold of a Wallabies jersey of that era. It is quite similar. It was close enough.
Beckham-esque. Just go with me a little bit on in terms of the clean lines and the symmetry of the play. Everything had a beauty and a patterned arc to it.
A Vodafone-sponsored Wallaby side.
His goal kicking was I don't think his numbers were pretty good, but it looked so nice. I mean, it's just the shapes and the action and the flow was a wonderful thing, and he looked so rugby. And he went to Joey's.
Yeah, he was Joe Rugby, wasn't he? Different to Joe Rock.
Joe Rock played different player.
No, I want to say Joe Rugby, like the all-American jock, you know what I mean? But like in Australia and rugby.
But he was well spoken. He's from it. He straddled the the amateur and professional era as well.
Well, I was going to say that about his goal kicking, right? Because in league there was obviously Daryl Halligan and then like Hazem El Mazari, a couple of Bulldogs, greats themselves. But Matt Burke was like in that era where like goal kicking started to get really fucking good in rugby.
Yeah,
and now it's obviously just fucking automatic these days.
Man. I mean, there's no better watch on Instagram right now than Johnny Wilkinson goal kicking tutorials.
Get out of
that's
here.
me done.
Yep.
Just out of the Tigers, new CEO Mielecamp, people are calling him John Cougar, has taken every member out for coffee, one-on-one, or he's offered to.
Okay.
Right, so that's just his way of getting. That's not bad.
That's good.
It's not bad.
That's good.
I'm a member of the Tigers, so that I'm allowed access to a thread to sledge them with my friend, but I pay $70 a year so I can insult my friend. Now, Payne Haas is Hakeem Haas now, and he's going to the Bunnies next year. Right? Is this Wayne Bennett exacting revenge on the Bronx, or is he just purchased the best player in the game to improve the chances of his team?
I think both things can be true.
Walk and chew gum.
Walk and chew gum.
Now, Nathan
Yes.
Nathan escaped the suspension.
This was good.
Nathan, that is.
Yeah.
And if you don't know that full name, then I don't care.
Skip ahead.
Now, Nathan escaped a suspension after trying to take Hamasi Makasini's head off in the trial at Leichhardt. Now, Makasini, fresh from an unbelievable try at Leichhardt Oval against the Panthers.
Yeah.
It was Lomu West. The way that he ran over Dylan Edwards, one of the best tacklers in the game, was very exciting. For a club that for many years has lacked electricity in the outside backs, now are full of it with like a sharp left edge, Luai, Taylor May, Makasini.
Who's going to be Parramatta by round 6?
Yeah. Jerome. Yeah, well, it's funny you say Jerome Buller there, who is looked after by Isaac Moses, who gets on famously well with the Tigers.
Yeah.
So I think it was after Makasini scored this try, Nathan tried to take his head off. And but the thing is, and he was facing suspension, possibly for a couple of weeks.
2 weeks.
But he was defended by his dad, Ivan. And both of them arrived at the judiciary alongside 3 other Penrith officials, so the 5 of them, in matching black jackets, dress shirts, and chinos.
That's right.
And what a fucking optic it was.
Yeah,
I have to say, it was a hell of an optic.
Yeah, Easter Island stuff.
Exactly, and it's I've seen a few shots of this going around, but it reminded one of the League movie The Final Winter.
Oh, yeah.
With starring Matt Nable, but also with Ivan Cleary as a judiciary member in it as well.
Oh,
yeah, and my uncle Dave.
Anyway, I only took 12 minutes, Pezza. 12 minutes. So his dad's gone into bat for him, saying, "Here's the evidence." You know, he said he was defending himself. He had to get out in front of the line to defend himself. This bloke's going to fucking run over him like a speed bump.
Yeah, like Nathan's like, I have to get out of the line so that I'm not a speed bump. It's like, since when does your weakness in defense help to justify smacking someone in the head?
Well, 12 minutes later,
bang,
$1,800.
The fuck would I know?
Wink and a nod, good to go.
Anyway, is Nathan a watch? Are we still looking at Nathan for the Wallabies for 202027?
Well, it's sort of gone a little bit
chat.
quiet, hasn't it? Sort of gone a little bit quiet. I mean,
I got to say, like, again, as a Northern Suburbs private school boy from Sydney, the years 1994 to 2002 inclusive, I'm always sick for a league to union, just for the green and gold, for the goal. I'm always sick for it,
mate. If they want to have a 4-month contract,
you
know, just get themselves in a pre-season camp, come back the next season, go and win the Origin.
Yep,
fine with me.
Yep. Look, Ryan Pappenhausen, basically your replacement co-host. Not something I imagined saying a few years ago.
Yeah,
he's still retired, and
mate, what's doing?
Pappy's late 20s, couple of injuries, sure. I mean, there's a team there just waiting for him in the Bears.
But he was he was going to go to
360.
360.
NRL 360. He's going to R360, but that's fallen over at the moment, right?
Yeah, in the bin.
Yeah, that's bin.
But he was apparently going to that, and then that's gone in the bin. Now he's just not going to play.
Yeah, but I mean, someone of his profile and athleticism, a couple of injuries, there's still a couple of big fat contracts for him.
Sure.
But I mean, Pappy, we need to see him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Otherwise, he's back on the show. And I'm in the bin. I'm in Saudi.
So, mate, that's what I've got for rugby league at the moment.
Hey, what about Emma Lawrence? First female play-by-play caller for Triple M this season. That's going to be good.
Good shout.
I think that's pretty.
I think everyone will be pretty happy with that, I'd imagine.
Oh, I think historically they will.
Yeah. There won't be any fucking Twitter buyers getting upset about that.
No, well, the only game I want to talk about is the World Club Challenge over, when was that? Was that on the weekend?
Yeah.
Broncos losing to Hull KR. Indeed, Hull KR defeating the Broncos. So that's now 3 years. Well, I suppose there's actually a couple that didn't get played. I think it's actually since COVID. I don't think an Australian side has won the World Club Challenge. Do we respect the Super League now?
Is this a T20 situation? Is this we don't care about this? You know what I mean? I mean, the players over there, they have to be absolutely shinless, don't they?
I mean, like a pre-season tour overseas where you have to play a highly competitive game.
It's a bonding trip, isn't it?
I guess so, but still, like, that doesn't make you feel good when, like, you see. I mean, like, in this game, like, Broncos were down and then they scored 3 or 4 late tries, as they pretty much did the entirety of last season. But, like, I still want to see I still want to see fucking Reece Walsh like cutting like a hot knife through butter more consistently. I want it to look like schoolboy-esque, you know.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the Super League sides have been really good in the last.
I've got no
decade.
respect for Super League, but you know, I do enjoy the international game. You know, generally on the rise and all that sort of stuff. But I mean, if we respected the Super League, they wouldn't be literally the, you know, the what do you call it? Like the, you got the headliner and a gig, just the
right. Like,
what do you call it?
Support act.
Support act. Jesus Christ, lucky I'm not in words. But yeah, that's what the Super League is. It's a little warm up.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
For the main
I
event.
wonder if it's going to get more prestige the less times the NRL sides win. You know, then it's like, I mean, I think the Roosters won maybe like 3 or 4 in a row. That was good.
It always happens though. This always happens. It's the season that you play them in. You know, I'm not reading into it at all.
Okay.
Who do you like for the comp, by the way?
I think the Broncos are going to be pretty strong again, aren't they? Storm, Storm. Yeah.
You know, no Smokies. I feel like a Smoky could emerge this year. Actually, I feel like there's been a bit of a...
Don't you feel like last year was a smoky season, like the Raiders finishing first and then going bang, bang, for straight sets? You know, the Bulldogs came from... people were calling, as many guys called in last year, or just the one guy was saying, Raiders for the spoon last year, minor premiers, Bulldogs, no one tipped them, no one fancied them. But, I mean, it's hard to get... I mean, just Melbourne's so consistent. I don't know if they'll win it this year, but
yeah,
it's going to be close.
Yep.
Who do you like?
I don't know. I'd like to see the Raiders make good on on that excellent run last year. It's hard to see, but they got sticky. They kept the side together. They know how to win. They'll be better for the run, hopefully. So yeah, I just don't want to bring myself to say like, yeah, Melbourne Storm, Penrith Panthers, Brisbane Broncos. Cheers.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Sydney Roosters. Yeah, let's be having something else.
Yeah.
I think the Tigers will go well this year. Finally.
There was the rugby league had such a great vibe with it last year with the Raiders and the Dogs doing so well. I guess the AFL had that a bit as well. You know, like Adelaide obviously finished top, then they went out straight sets as well. So like when teams are surprising you by finishing the top 4, that's always exciting for like those home fans. But
who do you like in the Aussie Rules?
I think it's going to be Brisbane.
Unbelievable team. Yeah. But the way they fucking like decimated everybody towards the back end of the year to me, and in the grand final was like just said to me like they've got to gear above the next best team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But bit of trauma pre-season, disrupting in the camp, probably won't matter. Tidy profit, 770k.
770k, mate. Everything's going up lines.
Hey, let's talk to Christian Welch, right? Should we do that?
Yep.
Here he is right now. He's Christian.
Well, this man refers to himself online as a former NRL player with a keen interest in the commercial and governance side of sport, currently working as a business analyst at Collingwood AFL Club. He's got a commerce degree. This is me talking now. He's not saying this. He's got a commerce degree and an MBA. He's reportedly studied at Harvard, Berlin and Oxford. I've read that. And zerotackle.com. He played 163 games for the Storm, played for 10 years. He won 2 comps, played 6 Origins, won that famous series in 2020 under Wayne Bennett. And so the Storm and Queensland champion joins us fresh from the Olympic Boulevard on the business side of the Collingwood Magpies, where he's employed now. It's Christian Welch on the couch for the circus. Welsh, you welcome.
Oh, I sound like Waco, don't I?
Right,
yeah. Only won 1 comp, but it's good. Great career and a great place to be at Storm, and to obviously being a proud Queensland enough growing up and coming down to Melbourne at 18 and seeing your heroes and big 3. It was a great journey to feel.
You boys actually near there on 1 comp versus 2 apologies. I give off giving you an extra comp.
Take it.
Probably shouldn't talk about extra comps with the Storm. You wait. Go on. I can only imagine when you were introduced to the team at Collingwood, where you're now working as a business analyst, that they said, like, everyone, this is Christian, he comes over from rugby.
Yeah, there's not much distinction, and especially having an old housemate play for the Rambles, rest in peace. This DT. No, he's still going good. He's still good. But rugby and rugby league, bunched in together, which good luck to them.
What do you like? Tell us, like what's the job at the Pies. I mean, it's an amazing, like there aren't that many people who cross the divide around rugby league, Aussie rules. You've lived in Melbourne. You obviously get both codes. You're a D's fan, aren't you?
Yeah, D's fan, but Pies now.
Sorry, you got to say this.
That's just a great opportunity. Looking forward to getting into the sports admin space, and Collingwood would put me on, and kind of just floating around a bit in between football and commercial, and doing a bit of the grunt work, and basically being a fly on the wall for now until I learn the business. And it's just Collingwood is such a impressive club and huge club. To be fair, that be more than double the size of Storm in terms of their commercial operation, and. We're having a laugh about their members, but they've got over 100,000 members. So it's a really good place to be there and to learn.
Well, my understanding is that via Peter V'landys that rugby league is double the size of AFL now, and is just the bigger game across all metrics and all facets at all costs and times. Is that correct?
Yeah, the PVL, he loves talking up our great sport, spreading the sweet word of rugby league. So good luck to him. That's his leadership style, isn't it? So
wow, the bullshit. No, I mean the Bears back there. That's all good.
Yeah, well, he's making some plays, and to be honest, I think the AFL are kind of reacting a little bit in terms of how their leaders, their new CEO Dylan seems to be always. They never really care about rugby league or blowing their own trumpet. It's got to go along with their business, but they seem a bit more outgoing now and just letting everyone know how big they are, and they're truly a behemoth and a truly national game. So I think, I think AFL it's a pretty saturated market, to be honest. They're so amazing, the attendances, the TV numbers, but I think rugby league, the exciting thing is the areas for growth. As you say, Perth, we got the Chiefs coming in, so
yeah,
I don't know how that's going to work, but like to, and I'm sure we'll get to New Zealand, probably have a second team there, and then. We've got Vegas coming up this weekend, so it's going to be interesting. Rugby league's really, really aspirational at the moment.
Talking about growth markets here in the AFL, and of course your role at Collingwood. Now, whose idea was it to send the letter informing Collingwood fans that they could change their will to support the club?
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, bad bit of PR for the club. Sorry, guys. Yeah, well, I think Dak he's not paid enough. So now I think, to be fair, all AFL clubs have that, and most NRL clubs, to be fair. So yeah, not good optics though. Just a bad week.
Yeah. Well, you spoke there about Andrew Dillon, who of course was in India the other week, just trying to grow the game. I think that might have been a reflex to the Vegas week or the international rounds coming up as PVL gets his way. Then there's obviously State of Origin back on the table as well in the AFL. I mean, these things seem quite reflexive to, similarly Origin is very successful, of course, in the league. It's pretty cool. But do you think like the AFL is like just deliberately, they're sort of like placating their fans by showing them we are doing something as well to grow this game? Origin, India.
Yeah, look, I don't know. I saw he was in India, and then... I think they're definitely trying to find areas for growth, but I think it's also a reflection of how well they've done in Australia. It's kind of, I wouldn't say they're capped out, but they're so dominant in, the stadia they got. And obviously cricket kind of probably gets to ride the coattails of AFL in terms of, well, let's go hand in hand. Let's have this world-class stadiums and we'll share it. Look, I think they're definitely looking for new areas of growth. I don't think it's bad things because they're so dominant and they're like, where else can we go? Whereas NRL, I think we've been so Sydney and, Queensland centric, like expansion a couple of years ago, we expanded into the growing heartlands of Southeast Queensland. It's like the biggest club in the NRL is the Brisbane Broncos. Yeah. We put a team in next door. So I wouldn't even call that expansion. That's more consolidation. So, and even you look at grand final numbers, like pretty amazing. I know Storm and Broncos poll really well. So, I think this new chairman of the AFL, he's probably going, hey, let's go to the twilight because I'm sick of hearing Landy's talking about how he beat us. And, I imagine the AFL, if they move to that tonfile, they'll blow the NRL out of the water. But I think if you're the NRL, you're going, wow, we're going to have a presence in Perth soon. That's going to generate a bigger audience. I know they haven't been received too well by probably the local media there, but it's going to be great having people there. And then, I think New Zealand also, you look at the rugby union, they're really struggling. In Australia and New Zealand. So I think popularity of the Warriors and how well they're going over there, and then you look at Christchurch have got a brand new stadium there. Like, let's put another team in. And with all this expansion, we don't need to grab more talent. It's like the Pacifico community, that's where it's coming from. It's not the white man. The white man's days are numbered, or at least in the physical positions. The more crafty halves, they're going to probably have a higher longevity. But the Tongans and Samoans and Maoris, they're just amazing. And it really reflects where rugby league's going. It's a powerful man's game. It's that grind and the attrition. We're kind of moving away from that. So there's a lot of green shoots.
What do you make of the recent changes to representation rules in rugby league state of origin, which looks as though it means that it's a little bit more flexible and open around when people, who people can represent or what state that can represent?
Yeah, but I just think it reflects society. We're a multicultural country. Like, you can be a diehard Queenslander and New South Welshman and be a proud Kiwi as well. Like, that's one of the great strengths of Australia. So, yeah, I think it's been a good move. And we're going to New Zealand next year for Origin, just taking a game there. So, like, yeah, I think it works well.
You mentioned before, just talking about stadiums, like, cricket and AFL can share stadiums, world-class stadiums, great facilities. Obviously, with those sports, they have the advantage of rugby league, right, where rugby league has always been a television sport, right, compared to sort of going to the game. Except when rugby league goes back to community grounds, Leichhardt, Belmore, Brookvale, more consistently, I suppose, like, that's when I feel like rugby league is rocking, you know what I mean? Like, what was your experience as a player going to, like, the community grounds as opposed to, like, the big stadium grounds where they're obviously far more sparse?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Some horrific words were said, and you can hear them at those horrific encounters, especially, spend most of the time on the bench in my early years. So, they're really tough grounds to play at, like, Shark Park and Penrith. I mean, Penrith's a pretty reasonable sized stadium, but, Kogarah and stuff like that. It's really quite intimidating. But, I guess just the trade-off is, in Leichhardt, they're tough places, but also, like, the infrastructure, getting people in and out. With Portaloo toilets. Like, what's the overall experience like? Are we happy with 14,000 people attending games in 20 years? Like AFL, they're going to be packing the G out every week. And it's like, well, where do we want to be as a cove? Like, what? So that's where, and I know Sydney has its own challenges with infrastructure and you got the beautiful beaches and that. So it's probably not a perfect plan, but I just see how AFL have moved away from the suburban grounds and gone, let's invest in shared stadiums where we can really make it a great experience, get in and out quite easily. Like, it's quite laughable, maybe. Like, you look at the Pinnacle Stadium, we've got, Homebush. We play our grand final there every year. It gets an Origin every year. It's not even a rectangle. Like, what are we doing here? Like, why? Like, AFL don't play. I know they play a couple of finals there, but they stay at the SCG most of the time. Like, how's that not a rectangle? Like, that should be, it's just been overlooked. And so there's things like that. And then we're petitioning for Leichhardt to get a lot of funding. And I'm like, well, I guess the long-term future, I guess. But, I understand the nostalgia, sitting on the hill, yelling at the first. And so it's a bit of a trade-off, I guess.
I mean, I want to talk about that a little bit more, Christian. You've written quite cogently about the stadium plan, and you've put together business cases for what you were just talking about there. You've analysed the Roosters and Sharks, but on Twitter you've written big articles about their clubs, how they work as businesses, etc. On the Roosters, you wrote that their attendance has risen 50% playing at the new SFS, which to me looks very similar to the old SFS, but just costs $828 million. Like, well, I don't personally understand. You mentioned the Portaloos before. Like, the world isn't built for me. I don't mind where I go toilet at footy, to be honest, within reason. We'd have to get the details about it. But there clearly is a relationship between, better or like more luxurious facilities and people going to games. Is that right?
Yeah, I just think it's like stadiums are expensive and infrastructure around it, public transport, it's expensive. So if you can, you look at Marvel and the amount of events and games it has every year and its concept, you can justify the business case of it. Whereas like Shark Park, you can't justify all the government funding for the infrastructure, and they have 12 NRL games there a year. So that's where I think the trade-off is that stadiums are expensive to own, they're expensive to upkeep, and I think if you're sharing that load and the government are, you can have a really great experience. So I think I look at all the AFL stadiums, and the Gabba's the last one to fall. They're going to get this brand new Olympic stadium. I know the Olympics is helping them get there, but they're going to have some amazing stadiums. And then in Sydney, I'm like, do we get it right? As you say, at SFS, it's great, but we've reduced capacity. Did it really need all that money? And I think Homebush is a real. I don't know what to do with that, because no one. The MCG, the iconic grand final, you go to Swan Street, you go to Sydney, you walk in, you make the pilgrimage, and maybe just some salty Queenslander, but Homebush just doesn't have that cultural, people aren't excited to go out there. It feels plasticky, and, the makeshift, the bars, and it's not enjoyable. It's not easy to get to, either, at the train, you have to go out, come back sometimes, so... and that's our biggest thing with our biggest events. So, it's an interesting place. The current administration are big on suburban grounds, so I think we'll probably see that. They'll continue to invest in it. They've done well to get the money out of the state government. Whether it adds up in the business case, I'm not sure. But
would that, because as we're talking about this, I mean, I've got mates that love like Cogra, not really Shark Park from my perspective, but obviously, I grew up going at North Sydney Oval. And they are at Brookvale, there are ties that bind there. They do create a stickiness or a love for the game. These places. I wondered if there is a commercial case for them insofar as, they drive broadcast optics because the grounds always look full, noise is good, tight camera shots. They create, brand assets with character. Maybe Sydney's a place that, for whatever reason, in the way that it's built, it's never going to have a central hub that you can walk to from the CBD. So that might necessitate a different strategy with how we do our sports. I want another thing that might be a bit more awkward for rugby league to consider is, does it have the fan base or the geographic location to do that shared stadium thing? Are you looking at 20% full grounds? If you actually play in big places. I mean, I feel like we saw that for a long time. That teams playing at Homebush, that just looks ordinary. Maybe smaller grounds help the optic of league looking big.
Yeah, and I guess some of that, if you take pokies away for rugby league,
go them on next week.
We're in a world of hurt, to be honest. So many of those big leagues clubs, they're kicking the lights on. And that was skirting the code. Is that a sustainable business model? You see broadcasters at the point of breaking up, a lot of them, how much they're overpaying. And if you're a premium product like the AFL NRL, you can charge whatever. But then you see codes like the A-League and Rugby Union. If you're not that premium product, you're struggling to get money. And so that if you don't have that money coming in, and where are we going to be with legacy media, Channel 9 and Channel 7? Is that sustainable business model with streaming that? So that's why I'm probably... we're not big on attendance in rugby league because we've probably got a bit lazy with leagues clubs helping prop up, whereas the AFL a lot of community-owned clubs, and the way to support the club and stop it from falling over is buy membership and buy a scarf and how long. And so, I guess it's just where's society going to be in 20, 30 years? Where are we going to be sitting on gambling and pokey revenue and stuff like that? So I think... Yeah, look, there's not a perfect answer. And as you say, Sydney is really unique. It's kind of a bit of a mess all over. And as you say, there's not a stadium right there in the CPD. So, look, I accept all that. I'll just try and throw some money out there. And
that's what you wrote about the Sharks and the Roosters. I recommend it to anybody who's checking on. I got it through Twitter, but maybe there should be a central home for this stuff. We can talk about that later. But anyway, You do make a comment about how other clubs are better now at developing verticals beyond pokies. The Roosters, for example, have this incredible commercial property portfolio. The Sharks are trying to do the same thing. I mean, how important is it for leagues, for rugby league teams to have revenue streams outside of, problem gamblers with checks?
And that's what I think. It's quite interesting. You look at the AFL industry, and if you had pokies, like you're a pretty poor corporate citizen, there's a real kind of outcry. And I know there's still some clubs that have pokies, but the majority exited it. Whereas, a lot of NRL clubs still got it, and, each their own. Yeah. But I think that's really moving the sentiment towards it. So, there's heaps of, there's some massive clubs out there. Canberra Raiders are huge. Well, they've got a lot of licensed clubs, but they're big on, property, the Roosters. So they're all trying to diversify a bit.
Which club do you like the most commercially? Like which club impresses you most in terms of being future-proof, diverse revenue streams, not totally reliant upon one. It gets you going commercially.
Yeah, see,
it.
I don't know about getting it going, but the Broncos are just incredible, and so unique. Like listed on the ASX, you can buy the stocks, and if you bought it a couple of years ago, you'd be doing very well. But I mean, they've had the Brisbane market cornered for so long, and but they've done incredibly well, and they've spun it out. They've got a lot of outreach, community work, and then they take control of that, and they drive it. So it's a good community impact they're having, and there's some really interesting clubs, and I really like the regional clubs like the Cowboys and Newcastle, Canberra, and you saw Canberra's run last year, my premiership. Like the whole area just becomes alive. And I grew up Townsville. I know it's a big thing. I was going to dairy farmers, cheer on the boys on. It was sadly the year we left. It was the year they signed Thurston, so it wasn't holistic sex when I was there. But I really think it's a really noble thing. And even Newcastle Knights, like Newcastle fans, take your hats off because
it's awesome.
I've had a whole lot of success, and they fill that McDonald Jones Stadium, and they cheer incredible.
It's just a proper rugby league town as well. And you got a house up.
I want to ask you, Christian, about governance. And I know you work the other side, other side of the fence now. But talk about Peter V'landys, because most times when a CEO of any sport is talking to the media, therefore the fans, it's usually to announce something like a change that people don't like, a sanction, an encroachment on the game that nobody's asked for, right? But Peter V'landys seems to be one of the most popular CEOs of any sport that I could think of. I know he's got some detractors, but do you think like V'landys' most likable trait is his ambition and like the optics of that ambition? Because like when I see V'landys talking, it's either about how shit AFL is or how rugby league should be played on Mars. Like he's got this like grand vision, and like I think fans love that he's trying to like propel the game forward, even if it's relatively absurd at times.
Yeah, he's fascinating, isn't he? I think he's so polarizing, polar opposite to the corporate CEO that we're so used to I think, and
he's the share. I mean, there's Abdo's.
Abdo's more polished and more reserves. But V'landys kind of shoots from the hip. And like you look at during COVID, like we really needed a leader like that to go. I remember I was at home in Brizzy in lockdown, and he goes, "No, we come back May 28." And I'm going, like, I still remember, like, this guy's on tit. Yeah. And what did he do? I think he was the first professional sporting team in the world. Got there. So, and I think there's something about rugby league, working class, blue collar battler. I think there's something that really resonates with how he goes about his personality. And, like I've had plenty of clash with it, particularly with our collective bargaining agreement, but I don't doubt his passion, for the sport. And I know he loves rolling up the AFL people here, and there's a real different, I suppose, contrast of the executive, I suppose, at the AFL level, and I suppose V'landys and the type of personalities. And I'm not, I think he's being really bold, like Las Vegas. I'm not sure, I don't think the Americans are going to fall in love with our game and will conquer the world, but
what?
But I think one of the great, like, what a hype every year. We're in our third year now. It just takes all the attention here in Australia. It's amazing. Everyone's just psyched, and I don't think they thought, "Oh, this is what it'll do for us," but that's what it's doing for them. So I don't know about the whole gambling revenue and them being fans of us, because like when we're playing our marquee games back in Australia, it's going to be like 2 or 3 a.m. there. So I don't really buy that, but it's a major promotional tool for us. 3 years in, still haven't been yet though. So hopefully next year they'll go.
Yeah. maybe the Bears, but what you've negotiated with V'landys, and have you? Like, is he scary behind the scene? I just imagine there's a level of there's some kind. I just want to know what it is to negotiate with. What's
No, he's a really likable guy. He's very personal.
So scary.
And I mean, like, he drives a hard bargain, and when you're negotiating, like, won't give you much, but then, like, in my experience is sitting across the table. That's what you do. You're going to get in a room with him and explain the reasoning and logic, I suppose, what you're fighting for. No, I don't have anything bad to say. And to be fair, it's the RLPA. It's our responsibility to fight for the players and get a good outcome for them. And he's trying to balance, 1,000 different stakeholders. It's got clubs, grassroots. He's got the players. So he's doing the best, for, I suppose, what his remit is.
Well, I've seen today that Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs CEO Aaron Warburton, he's confirmed that the Dogs, with a strong Arabic fan base, they've spoken with the NRL about headlining Abu Dhabi or Dubai in 2027, 1.5 million a game. I mean, is this the new frontier for V'landys as well? And when does Saudi Arabia get involved?
Yeah, I don't know. That's really interesting because they're talking about this, I think it was Hong Kong, Singapore, and, the Saudi and the Arab.
Yeah, I never thought when the Bears were coming back, I'd welcome them in Marseille. I think that was one of the... It's great you're happy with.
But yeah, go off, Wolves, and get the doggies, get them all in there.
Go off, King. So you're a believer in the Vegas initiative. You're more Peter V'landys than Peter Fitzsimons.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of money coming out of the game, and there's an opportunity cost that's going to cost them a lot of money doing that operation.
Is there a halo effect to it? Is it just it's just a feeling that they start the season with? Look, we're international.
Like, how do you price that? How do you value the promotion you're getting out of it? It's pretty hard to work out how much they're spending on actually the whole operation, and should that money be going to kids in Rockhampton or Mudgee or whatever? Yeah, I don't know. It's how you want to dice up that pie, and at the moment they see a big value in doing it.
Just a medium one with the NRL, that there's new and strict anti-tampering rules on clubs and player agents, which, quote, prevents parties from interfering in contract discussions through public statements. Now, you got you got Gus, Channel 9, Lockie Galvin last year, for example. Braith wears a few hats. But this is rugby league. We'll wear a few hats, don't we? I mean, talk about the culture of the game. I mean, that's sacrosanct, isn't it? That you kind of you're fingering a few pies.
Yeah, it's a real, like, you talk to anyone in AFL land and they just lose their mind. They're going like come November 1, I can sign with another club and then just play out the year. And they go, that is just batshit crazy. But as I look at it, I'm like there's a real sense of maturity in rugby league where, like, we understand they're professionals. It's a bloody tough sport. Like, it's really hard running a fucking Samoans and Tomans. And if you can secure your future before you do that, like, you're such a finite time of the game. So I think it's really healthy. Like, I know it's probably not the best optically, but it gives players a chance to secure their future. And fans, I think, for the most of it, treat them as professionals and go, they're going to give their all. Whereas I feel like in AFL, there's a real, they all know they're leaving, but then they will have press conferences every month, and I'm not sure, I've got to weigh on the options, and then they end up gapping it in October. But I'm not sure. There's pros and cons to both models, but and I know at head office NRL we go, we'll crack down on it because it's fans and that. But then do they really hate talking about rugby league in November in the back page of the Daily Telegraph? All this. It's a 12-month media. There's a value to all that happening. So. There's pros and cons. I'm always pro player, and if that gives you an opportunity to secure your future before you go out there and play a very violent game, I think it's great because you're probably only going to do that 2 or 3 times. A lot of guys are average dress 3 or 4 years, 20, 30 games. It's not that much.
When you're part of the Players Association, this might have been maybe 3 years ago, and then you're part of the bargaining agreement. I mean, like obviously, like players want the bigger slice of the pie, right? It's more complex than that, isn't it? Like players want more than higher salaries, right? What were they bargaining for?
Yeah, so it was. I joined CBA, and it's the first time the NRL women had a CBA, had a set of minimum standards. So we had women who played for the mighty Brisbane Broncos or the Sydney Roosters, huge clubs, but then driving a train, they'd have to go to a physio and pay them to get strapped, and they'd go train on a dog paddock where it was unsafe, and they're doing ACL. So I know it can get this Sydney NRL media it's a very delicate, tough balance because there's a lot of agendas there, and probably it's always very easy to paint the players as guilty. But I genuinely believed in a lot of the stuff we're fighting for, and you just want to be treated fairly, I guess, and a lot of that stuff is post career looking after guys because at the moment, when you retire, you got 12 months of health cover where you have to keep your gold level. You have to pay for 12 months, but the clubs will cover any gap you have, right? But after 12 months, you're in the win. So you're probably not going to need a knee replacement or a hip replacement within 12 months of time. But there's no health care. And, as you guys know, it's a bloody violent game. Like, guys are really banged up. So, that's what the RQA wants. So they want to fund proper healthcare programs to support guys when they hit 50, 60 and the bodies are really starting to break down. So, I think that gets taken away a lot because it's always it's pretty easy to portray players as greedy. But I was happy to go on the bat. But then at the same time, when you're Cameron Smith, you can go on the bat because you're immortal and you're the best player on the field. Whereas I found, towards back in my career, I had a lot of injuries, ACLs, Achilles, and I couldn't get back to that same level. So, and I was always very happy to be outspoken for the players. Because I really believed in it. I thought it was quite reasonable stuff we're fighting for. But then as soon as your performances start tapering off on the field, you become a pretty easy target. So that was a bit of a lesson of, I suppose, picking your battles a bit better and not being so willing to, I suppose, put your face out there because you don't win many popularity contests, being the RLPA delegate, I guess.
Speaking of your playing career, and I should say for those listening or watching it, you were very clear that you didn't want to bore people with stuff about your playing career, but you played for 10 years at Storm. You won a comp. I mean, I've given you another one as well. You won an Origin comp as well. But it's this time of year where it's obligatory for there to be half a dozen stories about how hard the Storm preseason is. Yeah. I just want to take this from something you wrote in 2018. It's just a little passage, but you said during the famous Storm preseason, I think you must go out on some kind of camp or something. You said you walk from Amy Park out to the bush or some shit like that. You wrote, it was our last night. We were pretty fatigued, so a few boys buckled and fell asleep. We weren't allowed to fall asleep. The next morning, the guys who'd stood their ground all through till sunrise were allowed to have an hour's sleep on the ground. That dirt under the summer sun felt like a king bed at a 5-star hotel. The other boys had to form a standing circle around us and watch us sleep. You just, for the uninitiated, this is a global show, and particularly strange for a lot of our Indian fans listening, I'd imagine it. But can you give us an insight into a Melbourne Storm preseason under bellyache?
Yeah, he loved doing those I don't quit camps. I remember he had his first grandchild was born, and his son coaches at Melbourne, and he's like, "Oh, mate, do you want to go see your first grandchild? He's there in hospital." And he goes, "Oh, yeah, I'll be there in a couple of days about this camp." He really valued, and he didn't run it. So he's the ex-Camino guys, but he would be hiding in the bushes, just on these big long walks, and you go, "Fuck, is that Belze?" Because he just wants to watch.
It's behind the cherry, live in a tells. Yes.
And he just wanted to watch players, how they react under duress, I guess. So, that camp was the famous one. And every player does it, basically. You have to do it once. So there was, just weird things like that. We were doing these big metal bar workouts, hanging above your head and then they get the 250-piece jigsaw puzzles, and boys would have to solve the jigsaw puzzle before you could let your hands go, and then
you got to solve a jigsaw puzzle while you're doing it.
No, as in there's boys on the ground doing it, the ones that stuffed up. So the ones who did stuff up got has the punch for it. And then like there was weird shit. We were on the bus, drive back to Angel Park, and then pull over this industrial. I'm going, oh, shit, this is no good. We're in trouble here. And then he goes, and it was off this industrial website. It was all this old wiry off the thing. And we started doing like dips. And so the wiring and like we're doing full body dips. And boys started like bleeding, like blood was coming out. And then the boys that fell asleep, he got them off the fence. And then he goes, right, boys, I think he gave them like 1 or 2 Tim Tams. And he said, no biting, like no using your teeth, but you got to lick the chocolate off the Tim Tam. The boys were going to hold their bin off a wire while he's in the national election. This version of that, it was good. But even the first, the work program, you do it for 2 weeks. And I was with Marika Corbette, who the Fijians are very industrial, very good at their hands because they work the land. Whereas these hands, I don't have that skill set. I was more of a project manager, let's put it that way. But you go out, so you go in the gym, you train at 5 a.m. and then, because Bell's trying to say, hey, fellas, you got a good gig. You should be grateful. You're a professional, full-time athlete. This is what we used to do back in the day. So you go out, job sites, industrial tips, and you just be this trader's bitch, really, for 8 hours, and then you go get flogged that night and do it for 2 weeks. And so that was really humbling. And I think it's great that they do that. It gives you a really good, you feel grateful that, shit, I'm at the Storm and I'm a professional footballer, and it's, it was pretty tough, but it was good to go through. And Bells is always about, continual improvement and coaching behaviour, where when you're under duress and under fatigue, you execute. And he's so good at, I suppose, the drills and that. You do very limited pure skills because it's always, let's flog on a bit and then we'll put it on the field and go execute. And then he'll video it and we'll go in the thing and he loves his video, loves it. Oh, shit, mate. Like, we watch a lot of video, like, and then when we're previewing players, Tom Travojevic, Tedesco, and it's like, clip 32 of Tom Travojevic making people look stupid. It's like, look, we get it. He's good. He's outstanding. Like, we'll do our best. But he's so thorough, I think, in his preparation for comparing the guys, so there's no surprises, really. And that starts preseason. It's all about, nothing you see in preseason should be harder than what you see in the game or a grand final. So that's his sponge. Oh, yes.
He seemed to have this ability and continues to have this ability to take to just get the most out of players and to have a team overperform. If you beat the Storm, you've really beaten them. They rarely come unstuck, owing to their own weaknesses or anything like that. You played 10 straight years at the Storm. Did you retire thinking? I know you did play at another team. It was called Queensland Origin, but did you ever wonder what it would be like at another club?
Yeah, I think the thing he does really well is he really celebrates the team first actions, and particularly in a white front row who doesn't score tries or do anything too fancy. A lot of my stuff I did, my job is really boring and never gets picked up. The little pressuring Nathan Cleary so he doesn't kick it as far or get it right in the corner, or a halfback who wants to engage the line by putting a few steps of intensity to make him pass earlier, so then your back line can get a read on the play a lot earlier, or our wingers working really hard, score pendulum, so making it hard for, halves who are kicking against us to find the brass, and so getting catch them a full. And there's so many team first actions which probably don't mirror up to what the media and broadcasters celebrate. So, a big thing in our game is running meters, especially front. He's ran for 150 meters, he must be a good player. And it's like, it's not that important to winning a game. And obviously, you want to be getting up your run meters, having 2 carries, but he does a great job of really instilling in all positions, like your specific role. You have 2 or 3 jobs that you go and do your job, do it well. We'll be a good chance of winning. And that's probably his greatest strength, I think, is motivating players to not seek that external, I suppose, glory, and just be happy. Hey, we're going to win a lot of games of footy. This is going to be a good time if you commit to doing this for us. Whereas I think in other clubs, and you see these guys who, stat man a little bit or quite selfish or aren't prepared to do those really physically taxing efforts that don't show up on a stat sheet. So I guess that's one of his great strengths.
Vic, is it true that he used to ask the team at the end of every game, like stand up if you thought you played well or something like that. And it became this weird like catch-22. And then everyone else had to judge whether the player played well or some sucker shit like that.
Oh, yeah. So even going back to the IDAC quick camp, we had to, there was 18 blokes on my one. You had to rate them from 1 to 18 and tell them, who you rated the most, in terms of their character. So you're doing these brutal.
So our rank, my character, up on my jaw.
Yeah. Luckily, I avoided being ranked 18th too many times. But yeah, pretty brutal. Everyone has to go out and do it. But even after games, it was, you give yourself a rating, but you wouldn't know what the coaches would give you because that could bias you. And then we kind of got to a system where it was green or red. Green did your role, red did do well. And then you'd get up and go, if you were a red, most of the boys were green most weeks, but if you're a red, this is what I thought. And even there'd be times where boys said, oh, I'm green, then girls would go, or even the senior player go, no, I stop. You're in the red, too good. I think it's just about accountability. And I suppose you always kind of be a little bit erring on the humble side, I suppose, rating. You don't want to be picking the two base shot.
I want to ask a question about your body. So one of the years you did an ACL, the Storm must have won the comp in one of those years.
Yep.
What year was that?
17.
It's 2017, 20 against the Cowboys. Okay, yeah. So you didn't play that year, but then you won the comp in 2020, beat the Panthers before they won forever. Right. So in 2017, you obviously miss out. 2020, I read a quote that's you were like popping heaps of like neural meds because your back was in so much pain before then. It was like a cocktail of medication. But you must have been so desperate to get on the park because you missed out in 2017, obviously to reach a grand final. So few players ever get to achieve that thing. And I'd imagine now, like the Storm is still in like a premiership window, right? Like that, like obviously got beaten by the Broncos, picked by the Broncos last year, would still be one of the contenders this year for sure. But do you feel like you're in a position now, like your body has nothing left to give, where like you couldn't like hang on for another, like play last year, for instance, or play and make it to this year?
Yeah, it just got too quick and too powerful for me. And I think the evolution of the game, I was just, and I'm an effort player. I'm not a very skillful. I'm not going to Nelson Solomoni. I'm not going to be able to run out of you. So it was always when my physicality couldn't maintain it. I thought, I was struggling. So, but as you say, like I'm one for 4 grand finals. So not the greatest record, but like in 2016, was lucky to come off the bench against the Sharks. Lost that heartbreaking fashion. 2017, boys were flying round 10, thinking, here we go. I'll get to make up for last year, and then do my ACL and sit in the grandstand cheering the boys on. So it was a real bittersweet feeling. And then, then 2018, we played the Roosters, the famous Cooper Cronk one-arm game. I'm thinking, we're home here. I'm probably going to get a flag. He's done. And then they absolutely flogged us.
Melbourne call it flag as well.
Yes. That's good. Premiership. Sorry to my rugby league fans. And then 2019, I did my ACL again. And then 2020, I was just, we were very lucky to make that grand final. And I was just so, loved it. It was an amazing team. And then even 2021 was probably the one also go away for us who, won 19 games straight, like with the equal record in the NRL. And Penrith actually lost that week 1 final, I think, gets South. So it was the whole Queensland hub. And they had to go to Mackay, play Parramatta, really physical game, just won that. And then we had a week off. We're putting our feet up at Noosa thinking, here we go, licking our lips. We have a really good chance here. And they just got us. I had a concussion. I think Brant Smith got injured. And that's probably the prelim in 2021 we go. And then I'm going to sit there watching that grand final. I think it was South and Penrith won. Thinking, geez, we really could have been a red hot shot here. So, and that was the start of the Penrith dynasty. And what an incredible club they've been. And their ability to, no one repeated a NRL premiership for so long, and then they went bloody 4 in a row. So hats off to them. They're such an impressive club, and I think this year they'll be right back up there. I think the Roosters have picked up old man Cherry Evans, who he's bloody still got it. Reece Robson's there, so they'll be up there. Rocco's the talent, so it's going to be bloody really, really competitive. The Raiders will be very hard to beat with some great young kids. So I think the Storm, we still got one of the best spines, and Stefano's got better game after game. So we've had a few outs, sadly. Eli Katoa, especially the brain injury. horrific, but we've still got the quality there. So, I think we're a good chance. So it's a really open NRL season, which is great.
Maybe I'll go on, you guys.
All right, and what would it take to get you back into the rugby challenge?
Oh, I just...
Did you do it? No. It's like, I know also back into it. Yeah, I guess rugby, like 10 years real run.
It's like, it's popping up everywhere. And I'm like,
it's sick.
No thanks. Even like a couple of years ago when I was playing, they were, the famous rugby league off-season boxing matches. And some bloke messaged me going, "Oh, would you fight Junior Paulo?" And I'm going, "What? No. I don't mean good cast. So I thought we had punched in by Big Junior. But this whole run and straight thing, I hate it. It's just, that's probably the most unsafe part of playing rugby league. And they've just bottle reveal and they're just going, let's just keep repeating this. And I think it's scary. It's not treating concussion seriously. And I think we've made so much progress. Like all the major codes are treating it really seriously. I think it's really healthy. And then, we get this shit popping up and it's really dangerous.
Yeah.
You played rugby union growing up, as far as I understand. Easts?
Yeah, my East Tigers at Villanova College.
Yes.
Who were one of those schools that didn't offer rugby league. So, the private school mafia of rugby union.
How would you characterise the state of rugby union in Australia right now?
Oh, it's sad because I finished school 2011, Queensland Reds, era, Quade Cooper, Kenya, Digby Ioane, Radiki Sama. That brand of rugby union was just ridiculous, amazing. I think they were even, I don't think the Broncos were going too well then. Like they were outdrawing the Broncos at Suckcourt. And for whatever reason, it's really sad to see it fall away. And it's like, I just don't know how you fix it like that. The Super Rugby comp, South Africa's left. There's no, New Zealand teams. We don't really know. Like there's no real, and then you got the international game, which is a real strength, but it's only a couple of weeks a year. So it's sad to see. I mean, the A-League similarly, I think out of COVID, the strong codes have done really well and solidified. And then I think a lot of the other codes have really struggled, and you've seen it probably reflect in their broadcast deals, I suppose, about how important they are. And then it's the whole trade-off. It's like, do I chase cash or do I want free-to-air exposure? And I think you probably need a bit of both. But what do you guys think about rugby union in Australia? Oh, but I'll tell you, I was impressed with the British HOTline series. I thought we got a red-hot crack, and then I think we're in big trouble in the World Cup. But we should beat Chile. We should beat Hong Kong. Maybe not the All Blacks, though.
If anyone plays for Hong Kong, he's pretty confident. No, right? Yeah, it's going to be one of the greatest World Cup wins of all time. So you got the America's Cup in the 80s when Australia win the World Cup at home somehow.
I tell you, I was we actually had Tour War in last year, and it was around the British and Irish lines, and there was some hype around union, and we went to boys who grew up in Sydney, we grew up with rugby union as well, and so it's in the DNA a little bit, and it is quite like it is spiriting when you feel rugby league, rugby union in the ascendancy just a little bit. I don't mean over rugby league. That's when you feel positive about union. It's a great game when it's expressed well, and probably when the Wallabies are doing well. And I felt like around British and Irish lines, there was a little feeling of that. And I thought, okay, so it's still there. There's still goodwill in Australia for the game. They acquitted themselves pretty well in that series. They started their international season well. It fell away, and it's just funny how allied the feeling of rugby union is in Australia with just the success of the Wallabies. And so if you haven't won the Bledisloe for 24 years, by extension, it seems that the code is in decline. And I know it must be more complicated than that, but a Bledisloe wouldn't go straight for the code.
Oh, absolutely. But they just don't have the talent, the pathway. They used to rely on the GPS comps of Brisbane and Sydney, and don't get produce all your Wallabies. But rugby league clubs aren't stupid either, right? Like, there's so many of them who go, this is a world-class boarding house.
Yeah.
We get world-class gym and physical coaching. The skills are quite transferable for your outside backs.
Yeah.
And we'll park a kid there. Yeah, Nudgy, you'll give them a scholarship. And Nudgy don't really care. They just want to win a GPS premiership.
Yeah.
But they're not worried about the bigger picture. Well, maybe they are, but and then the Broncos or Dolphins or Storm go, thank you very much for, it's a free rider problem, really, because all these resources are getting put into these kids, and then there's 17 NRL clubs. There's 4 super teams now, and NRL's expanding more. And the minimum wage is 140 grand. Like super teams, they can't pay kids like that. They can keep a couple. And I think that's where it maybe getting a bit lost. I think Peter Thomas loves it. Oh, we got Swilly or we got Crichton. It's like, yeah, you're going to get 1 or 2, but the majority of them go the other way because it's just the economics of it. There's just too much money, too many roster spots, and Super just can't keep that talent. And no one in the state schools are playing it. They can't afford to get kids in country areas playing because it's just dominated by rugby league and even Aussie rules. And Aussie rules aren't stupid either. They're so clever in how they're funding Auskick and providing umpires and fields. I think even they've ring fenced. I think it's about 9 or 10% of game revenue has to get put into grassroots. And that's something as a rugby league player, like shit. I think it's concerning for us as well. And you look at the participation numbers in Queensland of AFL, I think it's maybe the 3rd highest state now. Like, it's going really well. So I know we like celebrating all the big things in NRL, but I think the AFL are also doing a good job quietly going about their business in winning hearts and minds of kids playing Aussie rules.
So we've seen most of the, first 15s of these GFS schools, the kids would be dreaming of an NRL contract, and you might have even been one of them, right? Whereas back in the day, it was probably like, to play for the Wallabies or the Waratahs or the Reds or something.
Yeah. I tried to make an review, but I didn't get there. But yeah, and I think it's just the financial security. Like, I'm sure there would be plenty, but you'll be able to kick your scrum pigs, your open side flankers, because their skill set's quite unique. But it doesn't help when you got rugby league, and then you got Aussie rules pilfering them as well.
Yeah, they're coming from both sides. Yeah. I mean, your school
and those amazing athletes.
There's more Aussie rules.
Aussie rules teams there. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh well, I think that you have been a wonderful first guest to introduce the season, Christian, because I think you've just given this précis of what the landscape is across league and Aussie rules. I mean, I shouldn't leave without asking for to run the rule over the AFL Premiership as well, given that this they are your employer now. I mean, how are you seeing? How's the Seagulls? You're the AFL Overlords, of course, etc.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. I mean, yeah. I think we've got St Kilda in the opening round, which is, it's a bit strange because AFL said, we're going to do this.
You run us through opening round.
The opening round. I think they're a bit curious, to be honest, because they've got organisers who are out in the growth states, but then they have to go to Melbourne, so I think they're hedging bets a little bit, but that'll be a massive crowd. St Kilda don't get to play at the G too much, and that should be a massive, and then I think Collingwood have Adelaide Pros round 1 at the G. That'll be another big game.
So you're on the Pies, obviously you work for Collingwood now, so that's all you can talk about, but I mean, are there any other teams that you like? I mean, in terms of premiership?
Well, it kind of would help pay my mortgage, so it's a man, to be honest. I was a D's fan, and obviously a Brizzy boy, but I wasn't on Brizzy when they were in the bad times, so I'm not going to be that guy who's like, everyone's...
Yeah. I mean, you're in three separate teams. So it's no really.
So I think the Mighty Melbourne Demons, the working class club. Yeah, the club is the people. So... Yeah, we obviously train at the Navy Park in the gym together, and a bunch of good fellas, but they've got a tough few years ahead. But I like what they're doing. It's like, hey, Tasmania are coming. They're going to take all the draft picks. Let's draft some kids now.
And Petrarca at Gold Coast as well, just good for his brand.
Brand Tramp, let's go.
Yeah.
Cooking Maestro.
Oh, no, Christian Welch, thanks so much for coming in. Best of luck for the year ahead with the Pies and everything beyond.
Thanks, Phil. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks very much to Christian for joining us on the show, on the couch. We're hopefully going to bring to you more guests for the circus this year. Obviously this show lives in concert with what's happening with the great cricketer, but quite a year this year for cricket, more broadly speaking. So enjoyed the circus last year. And hopefully going to spend more time talking to some more interesting people on the show this year, if we can. Anyway, Christian was a wonderful first guest. Better than the bloke we had last year, first up. Forget his name. I want to talk about football quickly, Pezza. Because the World Cup, it's a World Cup year. It's a FIFA World Cup year. I think it's starting June. I want to say 11 in North America, so it's the USA, it's Canada, it's Mexico. The three hosts of I think it's a 48-team World Cup this year, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's fucking heaps of teams. Anyway, after the Mexican cartel leader El Mencho was killed by Mexican forces last week, the country has been plunged into chaos and violence. So there were explosions all across the west coast of the country and gunfire at Guadalajara Airport. Guadalajara will be hosting games in the World Cup in 4 months' time. So Mexico City, Guadalajara, and Monterrey are set to host a total of 13 games, including several group stage matches, with Mexico City to host a round of 16 fixture. Some speculation that those games will be moved to either America or Canada, but I'm sure people have seen the scenes of absolute chaos, and it's a fucking war zone at the moment in parts of Mexico, and with a World Cup scheduled to be there. Pretty scary stuff. Although saying that, wouldn't say it's completely calm in the US either at the moment. But when you're looking at those scenes, you're thinking there's going to be a World Cup there and people are like traveling there and stuff. It's like, fuck, be careful. You know what I mean?
Oh, totally. But I prefer to just fly 50,000 feet on this and say, look, there's always a story ahead of it in any major tournament that it's not going to get up.
Yeah.
They're not going to get the stadiums built.
Yeah.
You know, there's unrest on the streets. You know, the eyes of the world will be on them. They won't be able to do this. But this does seem like genuine civil unrest.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't know.
And what you need to understand about the cartels is that they're scary. Now I think about
quick.
it. Because yeah, that's right. Yeah. Off and come over. Yeah. Anyway, now I think about it. So Mexico have held at least one World Cup, 86, which is the Hand of God goal that Maradona scored against England or Team GB.
They both have the same ring.
Yeah, that's right. So there's great history with football in these parts of the world.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know, USA 94 as well. It's one of the first World Cups that you and I might remember in our lifetimes. Actually being able to watch it. I definitely don't remember Italia 90 because I was 4.
I remember hiring it at Video Easy to play on Sega Master System 2.
We need to get that up and play with Chuck. You be keen for that one, Chuck?
Yeah, I'm keen.
Retro games, Chuck?
Yeah. NBA Jam, that kind of stuff?
I wouldn't. I don't still play them if that's what you're asking. But
but would you have a look at them? Yeah.
Yeah. They're like whatever it was, the World Cup game that was on Nintendo 64. Used to get a big.
There was World Cup 98. There was Road to World Cup 98. Yeah. There was also FIFA
98. Yeah. So, yep. That were.
Your road to the World Cup was a big one. Well, I was given World Cup 98. It's kind of like how my parents gave me a V Panther, not a V100 bat. You're close.
Have you ever been to like a time zone, Chuck, like an arcade style setup? Like, no. But you understand, I know it's a fucking relic, and we're dinosaurs. But
time zone's still going.
Yeah, they are.
Are they?
Yeah, big time. I took my boys in one the other day. Oh my god!
That's
talk about
fucking awesome.
Heads fucking spinning, mate. You should see what they've got now. It's a total sensory overload. If you've got any kind of sensory issue, you're fucked in there. No, I'm serious. Strobes or anything or sounds if you got a problem with them, it's no good,
mate. So okay, one of the greatest birthday parties. If let's say you're 10, it's Fuddruckers.
Yep.
Into a time zone.
Absolutely. You get the Golden Triangle at Macquarie Centre of some ice skating as well.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. We've ascended.
You know that we could do that at any stage now. We could do that this afternoon if we wanted to. I mean I've got to go home to my wife, but
well, you don't blow it off, mate. Fuddruckers.
Where have you been? Fuddruckers.
No, I mean High Point, Maribyrnong. Big old time zone there. Don't worry about that.
Anyway, my point being, Chuck, was like that you could play like NBA Jam, or you could play there was a soccer game with I forget what it was called. Maybe Boys Actually, that one in, please. But that was first of all, it was fucking expensive. I remember it even being expensive.
Dude, you know, time zone now, you need an app and you need a card. It's no good. You're I mean, no one's walking around with coins these days, but it's not that intuitive. I had this issue the other day.
Okay.
I took my boy bowling, actually, and which was good. And then there was a time zone nearby. Him and his mate far more interested in that.
Yeah,
but you
right.
got to get your card and everything.
Okay.
Anyway, reach out time zone if you want to,
With all vlog.
write a reply. Chuck, anything else going on in the world of football? I know the Tillies have the Women's Asian Cup coming up, and bit of noise knocking around that just they're having to give tickets away, and just is that beautiful light fading?
Am I right in thinking there's no game in Victoria?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think John
Fuck.
said that. Yeah, well, I mean, can you just give us a rundown on that at no notice?
Absolutely. I listened to a podcast about it yesterday, so
At work.
Shout it out. What cast? Shout it out.
Who
doesn't want to?
No. No, football
Call her
360 or
daddy.
something. Yeah.
Football 360 or something. Okay, yeah. John Smith.
Where we probably have our deepest squad in like a fairly long time. All the big names are back in, most of them injured, so like probably won't be playing full minutes. But like in terms of names, they're all there, minus maybe Kyra Cooney-Cross. But
What's happened to her?
she has family issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you make of the suggestion that the Sam Kerr incident has just taken the gloss off the shininess of the Tillies, Charlie?
I mean, it probably has. The taxi incident.
Yeah, is there other ones?
Well,
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Given the family history.
Ooh. Charlie,
Yeah,
whack.
I mean, I think it's more the results and that they probably just haven't been winning games.
I tell you what, Sam Kerr bangs in a double. I don't give a fuck.
Everything's back on.
Everything's back on. Yeah. That's one of the greatest privileges you have as an athlete, because people just love seeing you do your thing on the field. And I'm not just talking about that incident, but you can carry on like an absolute pork chop in all sorts of categories. But if you can like make someone happy by being good at a sport, forgive all sins.
Exactly. And we wonder why they behaved badly.
Yeah.
I'm only a double away from being the darling of Australia.
Yeah, exactly,
again.
yeah. Wheat bix
Statues.
Statues,
You
fucking
name
whatever.
it. You name it. Well, yeah, I did see in one of the comments underneath with the article speculating on this is, of course, go woke, go broke. And then someone underneath just talked about the actual brand power of the Tillies and how much money they've got. But
Yeah.
anyway.
Anything else? When
yeah.
is that? When's the Asia Cup?
It starts next week, 1st of March.
Oh, fuck me
Sunday.
dead. Is that right?
Australia play the Philippines on Sunday. 8
Will you be heading? Oh, well, it's nothing in Victoria. Will you be travelling interstate for it?
Flying
Chuck?
out?
Maybe you got some Qantas points after the summer.
That's our boy.
That's always the best. That's always the best.
Anything else in football, Chuck, as well, just to be clear, maybe at the local level? Or
Well, I think we've found our number 9 for the World Cup, Mohamed Toure.
Yeah.
5 goals in like 180 minutes in the
yeah.
championship. It's fucking unbelievable.
who's he playing for again?
Norwich City.
Norwich, okay.
Did you see the double save that Matt Ryan made the other day?
Yeah.
Was that against Barca?
It's one of the
It was
greatest
against
saves I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Oh,
lost
that's good.
9-0, but yeah.
World Cup year?
Did they?
No, they didn't. I'm joking.
Yeah. But I don't know. Apart from that, Juan Mata in the A-League.
Yeah.
Still prime of his life.
Yep.
We'll be putting a request in.
Scored a goal from halfway the other day, didn't he?
Goal from halfway. And then it goes under the radar, but he thunder-cunted one from outside the box the same game.
Really?
Yeah. Outside the box. And then set up the third goal. Like, he's fucking unbelievable.
How good's a thunder cunt? Yeah. I mean, I know Matta played at United for 15 years and he played for Chelsea for 10 minutes, but I always think of him as a Chelsea player.
I'm a United fan, and I agree. I agree. I think it was closer than that, but I'd take your point.
Yeah.
Like, he did seem to play at United for longer, but he's Chelsea.
Mm.
Yeah. He arrived at United in a helicopter in the David Moyes era, and it kind of, I think he was a bit of a symbol of just a slight drop down.
Yeah.
But he was fucking awesome.
He was still a good player, yeah. So obviously
he was a baller.
Totally.
Yeah.
So obviously the run-in for the Premier League now, I think it's 12 games to go, and it is neck and neck with Arsenal and Man City. Now it's a 2-point gap. Arsenal still holding that lead, but they do have to go to City in about a month's time or so, something like that. Both sides have relatively easy runs in home, but that's going to be close.
Yeah, it's really the watch is on the behaviour and conduct and reflections of Arsenal fans.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's really that's what we're all watching, right? And judgment therein.
I got to say, very exciting times for Arsenal fan TV, because if they do manage to lose this league and finish second for the fourth year in a row, it will be one of, like, at the moment that it becomes apparent that they have, bottled it, to use an English term, that will be their most viewed video of all time. So good luck to those boys.
It's a CPM orgy.
Yeah.
Looming.
Yep.
CPM orgy looms.
I think they'll probably win the league. I think they probably will ledge it.
They've got it. This has to happen this time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, people have awarded them the league 26 games into a 38-game season. Is that right?
Yeah, and they're leading by 2 points, but they were leading by like 9 or 7, something like that.
But they're on the same number of games as City.
Yep.
And they have a 2-point lead with 12 games to go, and they have to play each other.
I think it's a 5-point lead.
Yeah, I think it's
City,
5.
City have played one less.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's. I presume they'd played when you said that and caught up. But yeah, City game in hand. Interesting. Well, congratulations, Arsenal.
Yeah,
I suppose.
well done, Arsenal. Well done.
And
You
Mikel
finally did it.
Arteta.
You finally did
and
it.
The pickpockets that he got.
Yeah, that's right. Just want to talk about rugby for a second, Pezza, because this article caught my eye. This is from Ian Payton in the SMH. Watching the Wallabies in summer may become the new reality for Australian rugby fans in the future under a proposed new global calendar that would result in the Wallabies and other major Southern Hemisphere nations playing test matches during their summer months. The radical calendar shake-up is high on the agenda at meetings this week in London involving most of the world's most powerful rugby bosses, including Rugby Australia Chief Executive Phil Waugh. So they're trying to make the calendar the same, which is, I suppose, that's how they do it in football, don't they? As in FIFA and UEFA, etc. So it'd be like the Rugby Championship being on at the same time as the Six Nations.
I mean, I just feel like, Aussies are increasingly waking up to this reality that globalization means that, a Southern Hemisphere country, a country that's asleep when every other sport is going on, is being subsumed into the larger calendar. It's going to happen with cricket, largely. It looks like it's going to happen with rugby. The idea of, like, Australian Rugby Union playing in summer is... it couldn't be more bin stuff to me.
Yeah.
It is a game that belongs in the crisp, wintry air.
Yeah.
Studs on cement. And all of those kinds of things.
Mate, what does it mean for clubland for amateurs?
The smell of the sausage on the barbecue. Yeah. Sizzling sausage, if you will.
Sausage, yeah. Makes strapping tape on fucking physio benches.
Denko rub.
Yeah.
I mean, frost, a dew a little bit, I don't need like Max Jorgensen running around with fucking zinc cream on.
In fucking December.
In December, so that it lines up with the fucking Six Nations. Fuck out of here. I fucking hate Northern Hemisphere rugby anyway.
Fucking kick it, you cunts.
Piece of shit. Now, Craig Tiley's defected.
Yeah. Well, he's done too well. We've lost him.
I see. I like. There's like a whole heap of articles on this today. I mean, he's the CEO of Tennis Australia or the boss or whatever the fuck, Australian Open. There's a lot of articles where he's done a lot of press today about, going to the US Open, and it's the end of his time with the Australian Open. The headline is that he's defected from Oz Open to US Tennis. Now, boys, actually on this, what are the socio-political implications of like an administrator from Australian tennis going over to the US? Is that a zero-sum thing? Has Australia lost talent, resource by that? Is Australia's lost, the US has gained? Does that, will the Australian Open be in Japan? I mean, that's the real question. Isn't this what this all ladders up to? Yeah. Will it go to more sort of mainland Asia? We're Asia when we want to be. And then we're definitely not when we don't.
That's right. So, obviously, the Australian Open's turned into a massive success because it's basically a festival now of dangerous ideas, but also just people just getting out there, dancing, music, food, drinks.
If you will, yeah.
It's
When will the final be at the MCG?
Yeah, and like... I suppose like Flushing Meadows, they want a slice of that themselves. I've never been to the US Open.
Also, is it the US saying to Australia, we like the cut of your jib?
Yeah, I think
come and show us how you do that.
Because it's grown so much, right? Like record numbers of people going through the gates every year now.
So it's like Ice Show Speed has had a look and it's like at AFL kind of. It's like that kind of thing, but in administrator land, in official land, honcho land.
It's exactly the same.
It's like like the speed equivalent of US tennis honchos has looked at this and gone, I want to have a piece of that. So come over. Yeah. So Australians will always be able to get around that, to have that validation from the USA.
Oh, mate, I feel like one of the proudest things that, Hamish and Andy have done is have a pub in New York. Like, we're so proud of that, I mean, we love the boys as well for their work on radio.
Of course.
What they've done in television and media here and comedy generally. But, mate, how good is it having a fucking pub in downtown New York in the financial district called Old Mates?
Yeah.
It's a home away from home. That's fucking great. We just love Aussies just doing well in New York.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
Just want to talk about the golf quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, Live Golf has had we've had our circus come to town for 10 minutes here with Liv, but Liv is very much a watch for me, Pezza.
Right.
It's obviously the sort of rebel league that started up by the Saudis,
right.
PIF funded league, and Brooks Koepka and Patrick Reed, two of its high-profile signings, have not re-signed with Liv this year. So they've gone back to the PGA Tour. The PGA Tour effectively have welcomed them back, albeit Patrick Reed has had to qualify through the DP World Tour, I think it is. So John Rahm and Bryson DeChambeau, they are the two highest profiles and highest paid Liv golfers, and they're still on contract for this year, and they've said that they're on contract for this year, and we'll see how it goes next year. But if they do go back to the PGA Tour at the end of this year, I'd say Liv is in some strife. I mean, the Saudis have pumped billions of dollars into this thing, and it just has not taken off. There's still no TV network taken on in the US. It's obviously played on, I think it's Channel 7 here in Australia, and people like going to the events. It's taken golf and world-class golfers around the world, which the PGA Tour does not do. So that's good, but it has not taken off. And the amount of money that's been put into the pockets of golfers when they've done fuck all is, I'm jealous, to be honest. But anyway, Live Golf is a watch for how long it's going to survive.
Okay, nice update. Is it time for Boys Actually?
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I think it is.
And a tough one because we haven't really spoken, but Boys
made
Actually.
a mistake, no doubt.
Boys Actually is your opportunity to correct us via, you ideally opening with the term boys will actually. Yeah, throw a well, however you want to do it. Yeah. But any mistakes you're finding within what we're saying, anything at all, the enunciation, the tone, the tenor, detail, cadence, crescendo, alto, bass.
Yeah.
Let us know. boysactually@gmail.com. First one comes in from Michael, and it's entitled Winter Olympics. Okay. Boys, very proud of our team over the past couple of weeks becoming the most successful Australian cold games team. However, did you know that Australia on average receives more snow each year, on average, than Switzerland? And they have double the amount of golds and nearly 3 times the total medals. So probably in need of a royal commission, or at least getting Don Argus to put his eyes across this injustice to the Australian people.
So I saw,
interesting way of looking at it.
Yeah, so I saw that we had pipped Spain in the medal tally. Now, not a heap of snow in Spain.
No, I mean,
not the point though, because you are closer proximity to snowier regions. Your France's, your Alps.
But not, according to this, we've got plenty of snow knocking around.
But if you're from Sydney, you got to drive 8 hours to get to snow. Now, if you live in, let's say, Barcelona, then you could just take a 1 hour flight and you're closer to world class snow than you are driving fucking 10
then you got to hire a
hours.
car because you got to get your ski gear.
Got to get
it, and then chains on the car.
Yeah. So we should be. But you've seen our aerial skiers. They practice in a fucking swimming pool.
Yeah, you only only 3 hours from the snow here in Melbourne, capital of sport.
Yeah.
Self-appointed. So
where's the snow here?
Canberra. Snow. Oh, you got to Bright, then you Hotham.
Okay.
Hotham. You're careful going through Bright these days, but
yeah.
You got your Hothams and your Bullers, etc. It's only a couple of hours away.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, mate, I I mean, if Michael here is saying that Australians are entitled to more gold,
and
that there are nations are outperforming us
Yeah.
because there's one specific metric that isn't working, then I do think that's worthy of an inquest.
Yeah.
You know? What were the projections ahead of the cold games? Did we do a projection?
Tell you what, there's nothing. There'd be nothing worse than like realizing your dream of being like an Olympic swimmer for Australia, for instance, and then the swim team underperforming at an Olympics.
Oh, and being part of a team that'll be remembered for underperformance.
Yeah, and sleeping tablets. Yeah.
All right. This one comes in from Tom, and it's entitled, "Can you restart the Doctors v Nurses chat? That was good." Then in the body of the email, see subject line, different trades would be entertaining too. Thanks, boys. With another email follow-up.
Okay.
Sorry, boys. On reflection, that was unclear. By trades, I don't mean AFL NAB trade radio trades. I meant vocational trades, more plumbers v chippies and that sort of gear. Well, look, that's available to everybody. If you're involved in a vocational rivalry or a cultural rivalry of any sort, and preferably one that is kind of understandable to everybody, one that people are aware of, but perhaps don't have the X's and O's of the details, and they like to get into the weeds under the hood, if you will, of it, then let us know. If there's if someone you want to take on.
So I want to take on someone. I want in my house. I want plumbers versus plumbers because I've got a plumbing issue with my guttering at home.
Right.
And they've come around 6 times. And they've not been haven't been able to figure out this issue with the guttering in my house.
Fantastic. So I've got So let's have a new side segment of like both of our issues around the house and how to fix them. Because I reckon there'll be fuck tons of emails coming in. Because my first thought was, have you tried a roof plumber?
Okay, so first of all,
what have you done with a gutter?
Well, the first 3 guys that came around were actually electricians.
You got any issues with your car or?
Yeah. I had a Sparky come around.
Well, I got to say, yesterday we had about 8 or 9 different issues around our house, and my wife organises Steve, the handyman, to come in and do it and make the mitts on the guy. I mean, he's a wonderful man, Steve. He's great, and it's like I'm like walking in. I've never been more emasculated. How are you, Sam? I've just finished some fucking run. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's got to record.
Still doing your little podcast there?
Yes. Yeah. It is. Like it absolutely breaks my hand shaking it and stuff and fixes everything.
He's an accountant.
Anyway. Yeah, okay. So, you got a guttering issue, though?
Yeah, and it's just been going on for a while, and anyway, so I'd like a plumbers versus plumbers in my own house because what I want is
what's the specific issue though, in case the punters can solve it.
There's like a blockage, and it's attached to like a root which is in a tree, which is like for the outpipe of the guttering. Anyway, but what I want.
Have you tried?
But what I want is I want another plumber to come round and for him to scoff at the work of the previous plumber.
Oh yeah.
To be like, this bloke doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
I like that category as well for trades people.
Yeah, interesting. Well, that sounds to me like a very ripe response along the lines of like what you've got to understand is, particularly when it comes to quotes.
Oh, yeah.
Can you let us know about quoting and stuff like that? What you've got to understand, boys, is now, this finally from Matt, and it's more a picture. I'm sorry that no one will be able to see it, but it's actually from our podcast art.
Okay.
Right? And it's your technique handballing.
Yeah.
Right? Here.
Okay.
And all that's under it is a link to the official AFL skills guide to handball. And it goes for 3.5 minutes.
Right, okay.
I mean, that wasn't as bad. I mean, I got completely cucked by Kate McCartney on Sunday Footy Feast last year.
Yeah.
When there was a little bit of assessment of my handballing skill as well, and drop punt skill.
Weren't we kicking a ball? We were doing a show
stage
in Bangalore or something.
Yeah,
like that?
we're in Bengaluru on stage kicking a Sharon with 13 Indian security guards watching bemusedly.
Yeah, we were trying to spread the game.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, well, there you go. There's the circus for this week. Thank you very much to Christian Welch for joining us on the couch. Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pezza.
Hang on a second. Wait.
Yeah.
Kate McCarthy. I said McCartney, and it was going to be corrected.
Ooh, okay. Well, just got in there just at the end. All right. Keep sending those emails in, though, and tell us what we've done wrong, especially in photo shoots. And we'll see you guys on the circus next week. Goodbye.